Hey guys, Rick Stone here from Our Stony Acres. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to do something just a little bit different. In celebration of Earth Day, which is today, April 22nd, I am going to give you 12 reasons why I think gardening can help the planet. Before we get started, please make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click that notification bell so you get noticed every time I release new videos. Also, make sure that you go over and follow us on Instagram. We've got a good little following going over there, and I would love to have you come and join us there. Then make sure you stick around to the end of this video because I am going to be talking to you a little bit about a free trial offer that we have on the Gardening Academy. So I'd love to have you join us there. All right, so here we go. 12 reasons why I think gardening can help save the planet. And the very first one has to do with what we call food miles, okay? So a food mile is how far your food has to travel from the source, the farm, to make it to your table. And some places actually say that a lot of our food travels as far as 1,500 miles before it gets to our plate, okay? And those 1,500 miles are coated in oil and carbon, right? Because we're transporting those products over such a long distance. Gardening can help with that, and I'm not saying it's a panacea that's going to help everything, but it definitely can help, and here's why. Let me do a cutaway video, okay? So this is my garden, and this is my back door. See how close they are? No food miles involved at all. And with our little garden, we are able to produce, along with our fruit trees, upwards of 1,500 pounds of produce every year that doesn't have to be shipped at all. In fact, half the time I'm barefoot. I don't even use rubber-soled shoes to get to the back door. So it definitely, gardening can help reduce the food miles that a lot of your food has to travel, especially those fruits and vegetables, potatoes and tomatoes and all that kind of stuff. Don't have to travel as far if you're gardening. And so I think that is one of the biggest benefits that having a garden offers, is you bring some of the food miles down on the food that you're eating. Next is water efficiency. Now, you have to do this right in your garden in order for this to actually be a benefit. I feel like home gardeners can be more efficient with their use of water than a lot of the commercial farmers are, because we are able to use drip systems to produce our food, and we also can use mulches and things like that to help reduce the amount of water that we are actually using to produce the same amount of food. So let's look at a picture of my garden last year to talk about reason number 3. Look at all of those plants, and we live in the suburbs of a city, and look at all the plants that we are adding to the environment. And so gardening can really help to add a lot of plant material to an urban setting. This is going to do several different things. Number one, it is going to help clean the air. And number two, it's going to help clean the soil. One of the other things that it is also going to do is help to reduce heat, both the heat in the city as a whole and the heat in your yard as well. Having all of those plants is just really going to help improve that overall situation, cleans the air, adds diversity, just a lot of great things that it can do to help the planet. Number 4 on the list is diversity. So the last time you went to the grocery store, how many varieties of tomatoes did you see? Probably 3 to 5, right, is about what you saw. Did you know that there are literally hundreds of tomato varieties out there, and hundreds of lettuce varieties, and carrots, and broccoli, and all of these different things? There are so many more varieties out there than what we grow commercially. And that's because commercial growers need to have uniformity and shipping ability and things like that. Well, we need to preserve all of those different varieties of plants, and gardeners do that by planting unique varieties, heirloom varieties. Just there's so much more out there for us to plant, and so much more flavor and taste, and we're able to preserve that biodiversity as gardeners, and I think that that really helps the planet. Next on our list is compost, and this is a cutaway video of my compost bins. One of the big problems that we have, especially here in the United States, but all across the world, is food waste, okay? And that can be anything from food that we're just not using to scraps and things like that. And composting, which is something that a lot of gardeners end up doing, is a great way to keep that food waste from going to the landfill and rotting there. Instead, by composting, we're taking our yard waste and our food waste and we're combining them all together and creating a outcome that is going to improve our soil, increase the microbiome diversity in the soil, and just help overall improvement in the planet, and keeps all of that stuff out of the landfill and makes it productive again. And so I think compost is a great way that gardening can help the planet. Another great way that gardening helps the planet is by protecting local wildlife and also promoting environments for pollinators. So we all have been hearing about the problems that we have with bees, and we're losing bees, and having fruit trees and flowers and blooming plants in our garden is going to help to increase that diversity and give an ecosystem for those pollinators to come and join, and it's really going to help that situation. And I think that's another great way that gardening is going to help the planet, by helping to preserve the pollinators and especially the bee populations. This one will feel a little controversial maybe, but vegetables and fruits actually have a much smaller carbon footprint overall than processed foods do, and even meat and dairy products do. And so by increasing the amount of fruits and vegetables that we are producing locally in our own garden, we're reducing that carbon footprint that our food is putting on the planet. And so producing a whole bunch of yummy fruits and vegetables in our garden is really going to help to reduce that carbon load and help the planet that way. Number 9 on my list is using less of something, and it's using less of both chemical fertilizers and pesticides and herbicides, because if you try a little bit here in a garden, you can actually grow it organically. Lots of compost, lots of care, lots of healthy soil, and you will probably get away with using very little fertilizer, if any at all, and you shouldn't have to use herbicides or pesticides. That is going to reduce that load on the planet and help to keep those kind of things out of the environment, and it's also going to keep them out of your body as well, because you're going to be eating that nice, yummy, organic produce. Number 10 on the list is really frustrating to me. So obviously in the wintertime, we can't grow all of our own fresh produce. We live in a Zone 6 garden, and so that's a little tough. We do grow some greens and carrots and things like that during the winter, but we are not growing tomatoes and cucumbers and things like that. This winter, I noticed in the grocery stores that they have started individually wrapping cucumbers in plastic. What is up with that? Why are we wrapping individual fruits and vegetables in plastic? And that is the next thing that gardening is going to help, is it's going to help reduce that need for single-use plastics, okay? No clamshells full of lettuce, because we can just go out in the garden and harvest some lettuce and bring it in and stick it in a reusable container, and away we go. No tomatoes wrapped in plastic or bags of apples or things like that. We're reducing that plastic load on the planet as well. Next on my list is land use, okay? So this is my garden. Obviously, I still have a little grass over here, and we like to have a little space for the grandkids to run around in and stuff like that. But when you are gardening, you are taking what would normally be a very non-productive piece of land, or a deck, or a balcony, or a rooftop, or a front porch, whatever it is, and you're turning that into a producing area where we're actually getting some produce out of it. Whether it's putting an in-ground garden in, raised bed gardens, containers, whatever it is, you are turning unproductive land into productive land, and that is going to be good for the planet. And number 12 on my list is actually you. Gardening is good for you, which then makes it good for the planet as well. Gardening is going to increase the amount of fruits and vegetables that you are eating. That's healthy and good for you. It's going to have you outside de-stressing and feeling good and being a part of nature. And it's also going to get you a lot of exercise. Gardening, it has some hard work involved. I use a shovel a lot and a digging fork, and it keeps me fit and it helps me to stay healthy, and that is going to reduce the load on our healthcare system and make you a healthy, happy person, okay? So gardening can do a lot of stuff for our planet, and hopefully you guys liked all of these ideas. Let me know in the comments down below if you agree or disagree. What are some other things that you think gardening does to help the planet? And let's celebrate Earth Day. All right, that is all I have for you. Before we go, please make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click that notification bell so you get notice every time I release new videos. Go over and follow us on Instagram as well. And then really quick, down in the description of this video, you will see a link for a 14-day trial to the Gardening Academy. And the Gardening Academy is our monthly membership service where I teach you how to become a better gardener. And I would love to have you come and try it out. I know you're going to love it. We do just a ton of weekly activities and monthly themes and Q&As and all kinds of stuff to help you become a better gardener. And I want to be your coach, and I want to teach you how to garden this season. And right now we are offering a 14-day free trial of the Gardening Academy. Now, I will warn you, about 60% of the people that try this trial end up staying. So the Gardening Academy is that good, and you are going to love it. It's a lot of fun, and we're just really having a great time this spring, and I would love to have you come and join us in the Gardening Academy. So again, down below there is a link for that 14-day free trial. Click on that and you can go over and check it out for 2 weeks. I know you're going to love it, and then you can just sign up and be a regular paying member. Okay, thanks guys. That's all I have for you for this week. Everybody have a great week. Happy Earth Day and happy gardening.